Here we are at Frampton Marsh in Lincolnshire today. It's our first visit here since the 12th of April of this year. That was a brilliant day, there was plenty on view, but now we've reached that time of year, bird-wise, when things go a little bit quiet, and we tend to concentrate more on insects, dragonflies, butterflies, etc. It's a little bit windy and rainy for that today, with plenty of squally showers around, but the sun did try to join us on occasions. And there were a few people around enjoying the views across the wash and the miles and miles of salt marsh, but also bird watchers out and about and in the hides, but certainly not the numbers that were around the last time we were here. Well, despite the weather, there's plenty of shelter from the elements in the 3 hides that are here, and here's what we saw both from the hides and out and about. Plenty of flora on view, like this purple loosestrife and willow herb. As for these pretty blue flowers, the name escapes me, but I do know this, it's chicory. There's lots of these incredibly tall teasels around, and these plants, along with thistles, encourage lots of insects, mainly bumblebees while we were here, but also finches, and we got decent views of goldfinches as they came in to feed on the seed heads. Another plant in abundance here is ragwort, which encourages these cinnabar moth caterpillars. There were some birds on view today, albeit distant, like these avocet, very noisy black-headed gulls, 1 or 2 little egret, this one braving one of the regular rain showers. Black-tailed godwit kept flying in, first in dribs and drabs, and then in much greater numbers. We also saw great-crested grebe, and our first view for this year of a greenshank, although very distant. And herring gulls, we tend to associate herring gulls much more these days with coastal towns, who've established a bit of a reputation for stealing food from holidaymakers and so on. We also saw lapwing, moorhen, oystercatcher, and this really distant redshank. Not many small birds today, the goldfinches earlier and this reed bunting. Also on view were ruff, shelduck, common tern. Well, it's fairly late in the breeding season now, and there's a few youngsters around. This is a Gadwall duck with her brood of ducklings, which I don't think I've filmed before. Filmed Gadwall before, but not the ducklings. And these ducklings are shoveler. And likewise I've filmed lots of shoveler adults before, but never the ducklings. And this is actually another first for me. It's a whimbrel, very similar to a curlew, but a much smaller beak and a smaller bird. And there is the comparison. There's a curlew in the background there, and as they change position, you can see how much smaller the whimbrel is. The whimbrel on the left there, and it's quite a rare bird. Has a red status for the RSPB, so quite pleased to have seen that.